What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 5. Sleeper picks.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to give you some of my top DFS sleeper picks,
Super low priced and low ownership players that could crush value this week and give your lineup an advantage over the field. These are risky plays, meant for large tournaments only. Don't go all in on any of these guys. They are high risk, high reward picks. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, NFL Week 5. Let's take a look at the quarterback position. So my sleeper pick at the quarterback position is Daniel Jones from the New York Giants playing the Miami Dolphins, who have the 4th worst defense overall. They give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Now, Daniel Jones has only averaged 14.5 fantasy points per game on the season, but he's got some pretty big upside. He put 35 fantasy points on the board in week 2, so he's got the upside. He's averaging 8.5 rush attempts per game, and he's only going to be about 4% owned. Now, he has struggled the past 2 weeks. He's projected at 16.9 fantasy points here in week 5. He's only 5,800 DraftKings salary, 1,700 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 47.5 points scored in this game, and they have the Giants trailing by 12.5. So this should be a passing game script for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants in a good matchup here. Now, he's only scored 12 and 5 fantasy points in the last 2 games, but he did get 10 rush attempts last game. And the game before that, he put up 35 fantasy points. He had 9 rush attempts in that game. So he's got some monster upside in a good matchup with low ownership, a low price tag. And everyone just kind of saw him recently struggle the last couple weeks, so I think he's poised for a breakout week here in week 5. So I like Daniel Jones as a sleeper pick here versus the Miami Dolphins.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. So my sleeper pick at the running back position is Raheem Mostert from the Miami Dolphins playing the New York Giants, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, but they give up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Now, just keep in mind here, Raheem Mostert is sharing the ball with Devon Achane, and both of these guys have been productive, but last week, Raheem Mostert only scored 7 fantasy points on 12 touches, whereas Devon Achane scored 30 fantasy points off of 13 touches. So they had a similar touch volume last week. They actually both got 5 pass targets. Raheem Mostert, 7 rush attempts. Devon Achane, 8 rush attempts. So both these guys have been putting up big numbers, and Raheem Mostert here averaging 23.4 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 12 rush attempts per game and 3.8 pass targets per game. He's been on the field for 60% of the snaps, only going to be about 3% owned, projected at 13 fantasy points here in week 5. So he's 6,200 DraftKings salary, 1,800 more on FanDuel. And we know Vegas thinks there's going to be 47.5 points scored in this game, with the Dolphins favored by 12.5. So it could turn into a running game script here, and both these guys could actually end up producing and returning value on their price tag. So I like both of these picks, but if we're talking about a sleeper pick here, I'm going with the guy with the low ownership. At only 3% ownership, Raheem Mostert versus Devon Achane at 22% ownership, even though they're getting a similar volume. Actually, Raheem Mostert getting more volume on average throughout the season. Although Devon Achane here, 30, 54, and 2 fantasy points in the last 3 weeks. So he has 2 eye-popping numbers that pull his ownership up. And it's possible he does get more carries this week. It's hard to know, guys. But I like Raheem Mostert at low ownership in a good matchup here versus the New York Giants.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. So my sleeper pick at the wide receiver position is Michael Thomas from the New Orleans Saints, playing the New England Patriots, who have a good defense overall. They're middle of the pack defending opposing wide receivers. Michael Thomas is averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He's getting an average of 8 pass targets per game, on the field for 78% of the snaps. Only going to be about 4% owned here, and he's projected at 10.6 fantasy points here in week 5. He's 4,900 DraftKings salary, 800 more on FanDuel. So I think you're getting Michael Thomas at a discount this week. Now it is a questionable matchup here versus the Patriots, but their defense versus wide receivers just middle of the pack here. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 39 points scored in this game, with the Saints trailing by 1. So you got a close competitive game. Michael Thomas could get close to 10 targets in this game. I just don't see how he doesn't pay off that price tag at only 4,900 DraftKings salary and only 800 more on FanDuel. So I like Michael Thomas as a sleeper pick here versus the New England Patriots. Okay, moving on to the tight end position, my sleeper pick is Tyler Conklin from the New York Jets, playing the Denver Broncos, who have the absolute worst defense overall. They give up the second most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Now, Tyler Conklin averaging 6.7 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 4.5 pass targets per game. Been on the field for 77% of the snaps. Only going to be about 3% owned here. Projected at 7.6 fantasy points here in week 5. He's 3,200 DraftKings salary, 1,600 more on FanDuel. So Tyler Conklin has scored 10, 6, and 10 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 6, 5, and 6 pass targets. So his targets and production trending up a little bit here. I think he's going to get plenty of opportunity in a great matchup. Vegas thinks there's going to be 43.5 points scored in this game, with the Jets trailing by 2.5. So I like Tyler Conklin as a sleeper pick here versus the Denver Broncos.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.